So if you've ever got halfway through a Reaper project and decided you need to tweak the tempo, you probably want to know a little bit about the Timebase options. If you're looking for a quick fix, just look that way. And for everyone else, keep watching. Okay, so we've got a very simple project here. We've got some audio clips. We've got a tempo map here, which is documenting the changes in BPM listed up here. Now, if we want to change the speed at any point along the tempo map, we need to be aware of these options under project settings. That's Alt-Enter. Okay, so for example, if I want to change the speed of this little section of the music, the top drop-down menu, Timebase for items, envelopes, markers, will tell the audio how to respond to that change in tempo. The bottom drop-down menu, Timebase for tempo, time signature, envelope, will tell the rest of the tempo map how to respond to that change in tempo. It should be noted that nothing before that tempo change will be affected by this at all. Okay, it's everything that happens from the point of the tempo change. Right, so for simplicity's sake, we're going to leave the bottom drop-down menu set to beats, and we're going to focus on the top one. And the first option we're going to work with is beats, position, length, rate. Now, this tells the audio to adapt entirely to any changes on the tempo map. So let's see what that looks like. So I'm going to reduce the tempo here from 120 to 80. And as you can see, the audio clips remain completely aligned with the tempo map. So two things have happened here. Firstly, the beginnings of each audio clip have been moved so that they match the position they were in the tempo map before. And the second thing that's happened is on the portion of the tempo map that's been slowed down, the audio has been slowed down as well to match it. So that means the audio, when playback, will still be completely in time with the beats of the bar. What's happened to make this possible is that the audio has been slowed down. Now, if you see this rate here, rate 0.667, if the audio was playing back at its original speed, the rate would be 1. So a rate of 0.667 is going to be 66% the speed that it played back at the start. Okay, so this is obviously great. It keeps everything in sync with the tempo map. I suppose the disadvantage is that you're getting some loss in audio quality as a result because you're slowing down audio. One caveat about this method, if you've got audio that overlaps different blocks of tempo, it will get very confused and it won't work. So you might need to use the S function and chop your audio up a little bit before doing this. Each audio block, it doesn't need to start at the beginning of that tempo change. So here, this could start at this point. It would still remain in time once I'd use this method, but it can't start before this block of tempo. So let's undo and look at the next option. And we're going to go to beats, position only. So let's see what this does. Once again, I'm going to lower the tempo on this section from 120 to 80. As you can see, once again, it's aligned the start times of the audio so that they remain synchronized to the tempo map. What it hasn't done this time is change the speed of the audio on the section that's been slowed down. So that, of course, means, we've slowed the speed down to 80 here, so this lasts a lot longer, this section, but the audio doesn't, so we've created a gap. If we were to do the opposite and to speed up this section, so let's go for something crazy, 250, the opposite problem occurs. So the audio is now much longer than that block of time, so it's overlapping the next section. So that's just something to be aware of. The two scenarios I think you'd want to use this method are when you've got audio clips that don't have much tempo-specific information on them. So maybe a big washy pad or a single held chord. It's going to sound great whether the tempo is 80 or 120, as long as it starts in the right place. The other scenario in which you'd probably use this is if each audio clip belongs to a different beat. So for example, if you've got separate drum hits on each beat, this would be perfect because they would still be aligned, but you wouldn't have the speed of them tampered with at all. On to the third option, and this is time. Now this instructs the audio to completely ignore any changes on the tempo map. So if this audio clip was 30 seconds from the start of the project, it will remain in absolute time at 30 seconds from the start of the project. It will ignore whatever changes in relative time are happening on the tempo map. So let's do that and see what happens. We're going to once again reduce the tempo to 80 BPM, and sure enough, the audio has not moved. It stayed at the same point in minutes and seconds that it was, but the tempo map has. So what we've got now is a tempo map and audio that's completely out of alignment. There is now no relationship between the tempo map and the audio, which in most situations is probably not what we want. And it's happened because this lower option is set to beats and the higher option is set to time. So if you want to keep your audio in alignment with the tempo map, you need both of these set to one of the beats options, or you need both of them set to the time options. So let's try it again, and this time we've got the Timebase for tempo set to time. So let's undo that and let's try again. So we've slowed down the audio again, and now, as you can see, the tempo map and the audio are once again in alignment. Now, the only peculiar thing that's happened this time is that because the audio and the rest of the tempo map are ignoring this change in tempo, it means the next change is going to fall at a really peculiar point in the beat of the bar, you know, which might be fine depending on the needs of your particular project. So that's about it. Hope it was helpful. Please leave your comments below. Let me know how I did. Click like, share and subscribe, and shut the door on your way out.